Thank you. Did Woodside ever contact NAIF in relation to requesting support for Perdaman?
I'd have to take that question on notice, Senator.
Okay.
I'm not aware myself, but I will check.
So, great, thank you. Were there any government ministers, members of staff that were ever urged for NAIF to meet with representatives of Woodside to discuss Perdaman?
NAIF continued to talk to a number of proponents in Western Australia, including Woodside, to talk about a number of opportunities.
Right, okay. When did the NAIF board actually formally endorse supporting finance for Perdaman?
I'll do the depot, but my understanding is that investment decision was made at the December board meeting.
Right. So I was just noting your opening statement that it was after the 28th of October last year?
Yes, that was the formal endorsement. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Great. Has Woodside ever requested support from NAIF, particularly for this project?
I will take that on notice, Senator and Chair. But to be clear, but obviously the NAIF loan is the NAIF 2 loans are to Pilbara Ports Authority and to Watercorp.
Yeah. And did NAIF ever consider that if the Perdaman project didn't go ahead, that Woodside Scarborough project wouldn't proceed as well without finance? Was that a deciding factor?
We consider each project on a case-by-case basis, and so looking at the loans for Pilbara Ports and Watercorp focused on the Perdaman transaction itself.
Is it fair to say that extending this facility at Perdaman, as per Minister of Northern Australia's statement, it supports Aussie farmers?
Sorry, I'm just trying to understand your question. Sorry.
Do you?
So in the
sorry, Senator Cox. Do you have, Minister? Do you have a copy of the media statement that Senator Cox is referring to?
I'm
no,
sure I may have one, which I might
just make it easier for the Minister,
help.
Senator Cox. Thank you.
So just quoting the area that I'm obviously inquiring about is that the NAIF investment will provide farmers access to locally manufactured fertiliser, securing our agricultural production. Yet Perdaman is on the record, including on their website, clearly stating that this product is actually for export. 2.3 million tonnes per year is going to be exported. It's not going to be for local production. It's not going to be for Aussie farmers. It's actually going to go straight to the Pilbara port and out for export, according to the Minister.
Sorry, are you suggesting that it's a bad thing that things are produced for export?
Sorry?
Are you suggesting that it's a negative to be exporting Australian-produced goods?
That's exactly what it says. It actually states that the NAIF investment will provide this access to locally manufactured fertiliser for the benefit and to support Australian farmers. So how does it benefit Australian farmers if it's all going onto a ship and being exported overseas? It's not actually going to Australian farmers for its production.
I mean, the level of detail there, I'd probably just have to take that on notice.
So I'm not sure how, the Minister can make a statement like that and basically misleading the Australian public and Australian farmers to say that the Perdaman investment in the Pilbara will actually benefit our Australian farmers by locally produced fertiliser that will benefit our economy, but in fact it's actually for export. To Ms Copping, is NAIF aware that Perdaman's chemical processing plant will be built right next to millions of Aboriginal rock carvings, some of which are more than 40,000 years old?
So obviously, yes, we're aware of the location of the plant itself, but for every transaction investment that we consider, we undertake detailed due diligence in relation to the project, and that includes environmental due diligence and ensuring strong Indigenous outcomes. Senator?
So in addition to this, Ms Copping, that rock art is also the subject of a World Heritage Listing application due next year, which the federal government and the West Australian government are providing funding towards that submission. And yet NAIF are providing funding to destroy it. An application on a significant piece of rock art on country in Murujuga, which essentially will destroy that, and has been objected by the traditional owners and elders who don't want this project to go ahead. Has NAIF even spoken to those traditional owners?
Yes, Senator, they have. As I mentioned, for every project that NAIF does, we do require an Indigenous engagement strategy from the proponents, but as part of undertaking the due diligence on those Indigenous engagement strategies, the NAIF team do go and speak to the traditional owners of the country where the project sits. Correct.
So, Ms Copping, in part of that Indigenous engagement strategy, can you point me to the section where it says in the policy that it deals with the destruction of Aboriginal sacred sites? Because I can't find it.
Sorry, Senator, in terms of the proponent's Indigenous engagement strategy?
That's your Indigenous engagement strategy, and in that process it says it's all about Indigenous or employment opportunities for First Nations peoples near this project, and yet the section of the policy I can't find that talks about the destruction of sacred sites, because that's exactly what's happening in real time from industrial emissions to the Murujuga rock art at the Perdaman site. So I'm just curious.
So a couple of points to make there, Senator. So, as I said, the Indigenous engagement strategy is the strategy of the proponent. NAIF undertakes due diligence and reviews that strategy. And secondly, every project that we finance has to have in place all the necessary approvals that are required for that project to proceed, and that includes environmental approvals.
So I just want to clarify this, Ms Copping. The NAIF isn't formally concerned, as an Australian government agency, in protecting Aboriginal sacred sites and history in this country. Is that right?
No, Senator. What I said is that NAIF undertakes due diligence on both Indigenous engagement strategy that for every project, and in particular for this project, but also we don't provide funding unless the project has achieved its environmental approval.
Right. So it's also accurate to say that NAIF's more concerned with trying to find ways to buy off Aboriginal people with jobs and contracts, and because they're the real jobs on country that NAIF are concerned with, and the economic filter here. And you talk about the environmental factor, but it's actually not being considered when we talk about cultural tourism of the oldest rock art in the world. Murujuga contains rock art that's not found anywhere else in the world.
Senator, achieving strong Indigenous outcomes is a key part of what NAIF does. And that includes, yes, it includes jobs, it includes procurement, it also includes cultural awareness and understanding. So it is a key part of every investment that we make.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that I've understood, just to wrap up this conversation, but what you've said is that NAIF doesn't understand the significance of Murujuga and the rock art, and hasn't listened to the traditional owners, and actually doesn't care about the impact of this project, and is willing to finance...
Sorry, Senator Cox.
That's exactly what's happening.
Sorry, Senator Cox. Point of order, Senator McDonald.